we just sensed that it was different when we put out the first couple of songs. It's like nothing like any other project we'd ever done. Reaction-wise, it was like something that's happening, and so it's like,
and the feeling in the room between us as well. It was
that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, at its core, it is that. It is like, you know, and especially like, I know Jay and Sam aren't here, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. There is a special connection between the four of us, and I've never felt. I've been in bands with extremely close friends and extremely great musicians, but I've never had that kinetic energy that the four of us have managed to conjure, and you know, it is special.
Welcome to Happy.
Thanks for having us,
gents. So there's an EP, there's album 1, and I was thinking about this chat, and I was like, well, fuck, you just celebrated a 1-year anniversary. There's probably not much that I can talk about that hasn't already been covered, and I like these chats to be at least a little interesting.
Yeah.
So let's touch on some of the stuff that I found really fun.
You're going to say Elton John, aren't you?
No, I reckon everyone's already talked about it.
That's amazing.
So David, Thewlis, is he like one of your dads?
He's like one of
I wish my dad's cool, but he's not as cool as David Fearless. No, David's just and I would go on record and call him a friend now.
All right,
we spent Laneway Sydney with him for a brief amount of time.
I saw that
with him and his wife. He's great. He grew up in a similar part of the world to us, sort of like north of England, northwest of England, and he's a great actor. He's been in so
he's one of the best.
Amazing films.
Yeah,
and
maybe even underrated and one of the best. Like,
he is underrated, but I feel like he's crafted if you see him in something, you know, it's like a quality seal if David's in it.
100%.
You know,
I just find him quite inspiring. He's like he carries himself with such a fucking air of like you can tell he's creative and artistic, but like without the pretension. I don't know. It's weird. He feels quite magical to be around, and that's quite a flowery thing to say, but like he totally does. He's cool. Yeah.
So I dove into the film clips, and I was starting to forge these ideas on how and why the concept for the clips was the way they were. And one of the first things that came to mind was, well, I'm seeing the same people over and over, obviously.
Yeah.
These are your neighbours who you've pissed off for years with rehearsals, and you've gone, okay, guys, we've got some money now, let's do some clips, and here's our thank you. But then I saw David, and I was like, okay, nah, how the fuck did you pull this off?
There was one weird week where, like, on Twitter, like 3 like big film people, 5 stand-ups. I don't know. It's like the sort of cool celebrity community all went like, let's like they were all going like this.
So it was done in a small period. It was done in a hell yeah.
Loads of stand-ups, and again we've become friends with loads of stand-ups as well, which is, I don't know, it's more fun than just like hanging out with other bands.
Yeah,
it's like it's a little insight into a different world. It's cool.
Yeah. I actually emailed David originally and said, would you be up for doing some guest vocals on a track? And he was like, no. But I'll do a video. And I was like, no way.
No, you asked him to howl like a wolf because he was the wolf.
Hey. Yeah. And then he quite quickly corrected me that while he was very grateful for the success and support of the Harry Potter franchise has afforded him throughout the years, he wanted to not be a wolf.
He just wanted to not be
track.
a wolf.
He was like,
just for one day.
He was like, no, and I thought maybe I've fucked it already with this guy. Like,
typecast?
He was like, I was like, I typecast him as a wolf, Howard. And it was purely just because I thought it'd be like funny to get on my track, because I just never ever expected that David Fearless would want to be. I wouldn't even think of asking him to do a music video. And he just offered to do it. And then it turned out that we had a day off in Blackpool, which is where he's from and still has family, whilst we were playing a couple of shows over there. And so it was like, when he said he'd do it, it's like, should we get the ball rolling? And yeah, he's like, yeah, cool, I'll go and visit my dad. That sounds good. And he tied it in with a trip to see his dad, and he just came and like rocked up on this like estate in Blackpool and filmed a video with us for the day.
Yeah.
Loads of people turned up with
Spent the week learning the
DVDs.
song.
People were
Yeah.
running out of the houses with Black Beauty DVDs
Oh,
and
yeah,
vinyls.
it was wild.
wicked. Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
And he was just, yeah, he's wicked. He's a cool guy.
I've heard the origin story covered a few times, but it would be nice to hear it from you guys because I've got a little segue into something interesting that I've seen happen in Sydney over the last 5 years. So you were both in bands prior to this project.
Yeah.
And that reinvention and pivoting can be quite an important thing. But I've seen this thing happen, and maybe we can talk to these young bands out there listening and watching. People feel that if they don't cut it on the first release, they want to reinvent themselves and put it out there again under a different format.
Mm-hmm.
I know yours is a story that seemed to work that way, but it's for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I like endurance. Like Yola Tango is this great example of endurance.
Yeah, Tango, one of my favourite bands.
Yeah, man,
ever.
same here.
Yeah.
And that's endurance, 100%. So I want to speak to endurance, even though you guys did the pivot.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting topic for me.
Yeah, it was weird. Weirdly, we were chatting. We got sort of day drunk yesterday, and we were saying in the pub, like, I was just kind of saying, we were just talking about our sort of history and bands and stuff, and I was kind of musing on that. I'm so glad that I never stopped doing it, because so many more talented people that I've been in bands with and stuff have gone I'm
an
done.
investment bank
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people do it because of it. They feel like it's an age thing, for whatever reason, and it's totally legit. But I always find it slightly secretly sad, although that's people's choice. But yeah, I was just saying, it's like both of us have just sort of, I don't know, weird blind ambition, but completely
fuck it, keep at it.
Completely unfounded.
Yeah.
Just a modicum of talent and blind ambition to just keep moving and creating and doing stuff, really.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about quite a lot the fact that we have this self-belief coupled with this crippling self-doubt, and it's it's like this almost like bipolar flip between the two constantly. And everything I've ever done creatively, it's like I believe in this with every inch, like every bone in my body, that this is with every ounce of me, this is important. And then there's the flip side of you're a fucking idiot, no one cares what you think, no one is going to be interested in this. And I think those two, having that counterpoint and having the duality of the two as is what spurs on to never stop, because it keeps you grounded. It means that you don't get, it means you're not disheartened when it does go wrong, and that's the reason we're still doing it, because you kind of accept that you do it for the reasons that
we're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and it's cliched, and it's almost it's so cliched that I almost feel like saying that you do it because you love it is bollocks. Shut up. Everyone does it because they love it.
There's also a flip side where
true.
there are some people that have just been doing it for years, and you want to go you should just stop. You know what I mean? Without being
artful.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Everyone should do art all the time.
Not Elton.
I'm joking.
Elton can keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely can. Yeah.
You can't look directly at it. You have to just keep going on your path, and but then you also have to have the sort of the ability to recognise when certain opportunities come along and you don't fuck them up, and that's what we did right this time. I think there was we just sensed that it was different when we put out the first couple of songs. It's like nothing like any other project we'd ever done. Reaction wise, it was like something's happening, and so it's
and the feeling in the room between us as well. It was
that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, at its core, it is and especially I know Jay and Sam aren't here, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. There is a special connection between the four of us, and I've never felt. I've been in bands with extremely close friends and extremely great musicians, but I've never had that kinetic energy that the four of us have managed to conjure, and it is special. And it's why people like bands, even though it's much easier to be a solo artist or it's much easier to be a producer. It's because there's less stress, there's less conflict, there's less emotions.
Well, if you've done it a couple of times, you know how bloody hard it is as well. For that magic, for that click and that magic to come together, man.
You learn from every time, every previous band. It's all training wheels, isn't it? It's like bands on bands, just... You go, I didn't handle that situation correctly, or that person is someone you should stay away from.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you learn those things as you go.
Yeah.
But with this, it feels like it's landed at a point in our lives where, maybe it's because we're all a bit older as well. Like, we're not fresh out of the gate. Like, we're not kids. We're not naive. We take everything with a pinch of salt. We also expect we know that if it all ended tomorrow and it went back to the way it was, we still had fun doing it when no one cared. So it's like it'd still be hard. It'd still be
there's
gutting
also
to
a
have it all
depth.
taken away, obviously. But
Yeah, there's a depth and a wisdom to the lyrical content too, man. You know, which you know, you listen to it a few times and it's like, okay, you've been around the block.
Yeah.
You know, there's a vibe. I'm not going to get into it, but I dig it, and that's why people are enjoying it. It's
cool.
So every layer,
Yeah.
ring on the wheel adds a dimension, and,
Yeah.
and time adds something there.
I'm world weary.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah.
You got a bit of touring ahead of you, man.
I'm going to be dead by 40. I can see it coming.
We could reduce the blow and booze, and you can push that to 50.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite good at staying off the blow. I just the booze has been an interesting one. I've been enjoying Heaps Normal. I'm going to endorse Heaps Normal. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're at a point now where we put non-alcoholic beer on the rider, and I drink that up until stage, and then
It's pretty good.
tequila, and then the night starts. But non-alcoholic beer's been a lifesaver for me, I think.
It even has a placebo effect, which is utterly bizarre.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
it does.
What's that about?
I think secretly it's just not alcohol.
Yeah, they're lying. Yeah.
It's 1%. Yeah.
It's like all those vegan burgers
Yeah.
that the meat companies have started making.
We've got a couple of Casios in front of us.
Yeah.
Should we... Firstly, this is the first time I've done it, so the concept needs a name. I don't have one, but that's okay. We'll call it Casios.
Casios. We'll call it Casios.
That's brilliant.
Do you want to have a little play?
I can't play keyboard. I've never.
Well, it looks the part. You can pick up the Fender.
Yeah, Ryan, challenge yourself.
No,
Challenge
I'm
yourself.
rubbish at it.
That's great. Well, maybe you could give me a song and we could just jam it out. We do a famous Australian song.
Oh,
Eddie Current.
We
Okay.
could do Eddie Current's Pressure Ring. What
Go
about
on, yeah.
doing Lucky? We were talking about Kylie. What if we do a Kylie song?
yeah.
We've got disco here. How do you switch between the two? Select. There we go.
Okay.
La 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 la. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your dirty is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your loving is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. It's a good song.
It's a banger.
Think about it. We're overthinking this, aren't we, when we write songs? Alright, okay, F major 7.
I'm out.
I think we're in trouble.
I'm done.
I think we're in trouble.
Oh,
Alright.
what a gorgeous falsetto.
There was a reflection on the screen,
Alright.
I couldn't see the chords.
It's fine. We're done. We're
More
done.
planning
Nailed
required next time.
It's good. We are professional musicians.
I promise we won't upload that to Spotify.
I think just do.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, great things happen when you
Make good
let
up.
release them into the universe.
All right, you heard it firsthand. We have approval. Well, gents, thanks for coming in to have your mag. So great to meet
welcome.
you.
Yeah,
Nice one.
I do like to gift people who come.
No way.
But there's also a choice involved. Actually, James, for you, do you know the Batuta Advocate? All right. Well, you'll enjoy this.
Thank you
It's
so much.
it's a satirical
Amazing.
publication. Right, you
Is
get the
this an
choice.
Australian
It's an Australian
publication?
publication.
Yeah, cool.
You're either a
It's-
sex man or a science man.
According to the Advocate.
Yeah,
or-
I like scientific
yes.
sex, so I don't know. Maybe can I just have both?
Science
right.
is sex.
Thanks, that's amazing. Cheers. Oh, this looks cool.
That
This
is cool. I did
Australian
read
science
that.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, you know.
I'll take this one.
No, I've got a few
this
copies of
one's
that.
good. Oh,
on.
have you?
Yeah, man. Do
Amazing,
it.
thanks.
Enjoy.
Brilliant.
Kama Sutra, a position a day. and very inclusive.
Who would you recommend out of these?
I don't remember who was the most interesting. Maybe Elizabeth Finkel was quite interesting.
Okay.
But they're short and utterly bizarre, but just the dedication of science is so interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks so much.
Pandemic terms of reference.
Yeah.
Spice Girls. 1. The people of Melbourne, because everyone is trying their hardest except Victoria.
You're gonna love
Good.
it.
I'm
You're gonna
enjoying
love
this
it.
already.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, really
Our
appreciate
pleasure.
that.
Great.
Nice
Cheers,
one.
man.
All right. Have a good one.
you.
Lovely to meet you.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice one. Cheers.
Let's go have some cake.
Cool. Yeah, I can force it in now. Are we recording this?
Yeah, we've done it now.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Today.
Yeah. How we doing?
Welcome. Well, you didn't get the job, I'm afraid.
That's all right. I don't
We've
need one.
exposed ourselves as being talentless.
Man.